Yo, what's going on, family? What's going on? I want to welcome y'all to another episode of Friday Night Live with me, Pastor Frank. I see y'all as y'all coming on in. What's up, Nidra? What's up, Red? What's up, Susan? What's going on, y'all? How's everybody doing on this Friday night? I hope everybody is doing great. I hope everybody had a wonderful week. Even if you didn't, guess what? We made it to the end of yet another week. That means God is still good. God is still on the throne. He is still looking out for you and me, even if we don't feel like it sometimes. And do me a favor as y'all coming in. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to get that. Don't forget to hit the share button and even tag some folks in the chat, y'all. There's some other folks that need to know that we live, and we popping on this Friday Night Live. I don't know about y'all. As always, I'm excited to make it to yet the end of another week. You know, at the beginning of the week, we sometimes we be dragging like, oh man. Although we're grateful to see a new week, sometimes to be honest, we be dragging, especially coming off that weekend. We can find ourselves kind of like, man, I got to go back to work, or I got to get back on my hustle, got to get back on my grind. And so when the weekend comes, it gives us a chance to slow down, to rest, to take a break, and I'm always grateful. And as always, you all don't forget to like, don't forget to tag, don't forget to share, and also don't forget if you have any questions, any comments, even if you got some prayer requests, right, that you may not want to put in the chat for everybody else to see, you can send me a text at 833-858-5897. Again, that's 833-858-5897. Shoot me a text. I would love to stay connected with everybody. As a matter of fact, I mentioned it last week to send me a text. Anyways, I want to stay connected with you all because over the summer, or at least once season one is done, I still want to stay connected with everybody. Even as we continue in between seasons, right? And so tonight, let me pull up my notes. Tonight is the last episode in our love series. Has anybody been blessed by our love series as we've been defining for some of us, and maybe redefining for some others what love is, as we've been talking about love. But tonight, you all, we'll be discussing the role, as promised, the role of the church as it relates to having healthier, stronger, stable relationships. What's up, Nijat? I appreciate that. And I don't know about y'all, but we're going to get ready to go ahead and jump in, and let's get into it. Let's talk about love and the church. Um, so let me just start out by throwing this out there. What exactly does the church have to do with love, right? I mean, typically when you think about love, whether it's friendship, whether it's kinship, and especially romantic, I mean, if we being quite honest, most of us don't just right off bat think about the church or the role that the church may play as it relates to our love life, right? But there's something that I want to point out to you all. If anybody who want to take notes, there's a scripture in the Bible. It's John chapter 13. And I'm gonna read verses 34 and 35 to us. It's where Jesus is telling, or let me just I'll just sum it up, and you can go back and read it on your own, right? For the sake of time. John chapter 13, verses 34, 35. Jesus is telling his disciples to love one another, and then he goes on and tells them as he loved them, right? But then he continues and says, guess what? So you must also love one another. Then he says, and by this example, everyone will know that you all are my disciples if you love one another. And I got to give a little more context, because although that command that Jesus gave in that text, you got to back up a little bit just to understand the context, right? And so Jesus made this statement right after he had just finished washing the disciples' feet. right? Which is significant because Jesus, who was their rabbi, who was their teacher, or what we might call our modern day pastor or apostle or prophet or whatever. And so Jesus had just finished washing their feet. And the thing about washing feet is typically the job of washing someone's feet was usually that of a lowly servant, right? Not someone who would be considered a leader in the community, let alone a pastor or rabbi or something or teacher, right? But Jesus, watch this, the people who were following him, he washed their feet. And here's the thing, what's significant about that is, oh man, help me, Lord. I want to make sure I explain this right. The thing that was really key or significant about him washing their feet, it wasn't just the fact that that was the role of someone who was considered a servant, but he was trying to set the example of this is how you love on someone else, right? Love causes us, or should cause us, provoke us, move us, encourage us. Watch this, to serve others, regardless of what the role may look like, regardless of what the act of service may be. There is no service too big or too small if you're serving someone in love, right? And Jesus was showing, and here's the thing, remember, Jesus, although we know Jesus as the Son of God, but remember, Jesus is also God in the flesh. So the creator of heaven and earth, who wrapped himself in flesh in the form of Jesus, is now washing the feet of people who are still following the man Jesus. That's very significant because even if you go back and read even more of that chapter, when he began to wash their feet, they were like, no, 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 no. Don't wash my feet, right? Because they understood you're our rabbi, right? You are pastor. Pastor, you don't wash our feet. That's the job of, if anything, I should be washing your feet. But and in that example, because as we all know, one of Jesus's disciples was going to betray him. And watch this. He still washed the feet of the person who he knew was going to betray him. Talk about an example of love. Because let's be honest, if that was me and you, and we knew that that Jimmy from down the street was gonna betray us, we might have been like, nah, boy, move them dusty feet on, right? But Jesus knowingly washed his feet, knowing that this guy, right after I finished washing his feet, he's going to betray me. But yet he did it anyway. Why? Because he was setting the example. Oh, he was setting the example, right? That love, right? That love goes beyond, right? Remember we talked about earlier when we were establishing what the foundations of love was, right? Love keeps no record of wrong. It don't. That's what greater example do we need? Jesus intentionally washed the feet of the man who's going to set him up to die. But he still loved him enough anyway to serve him. So watch this. In other words, Jesus was modeling, as I stated earlier, that love is never too proud to serve someone in love, regardless of how it makes us look, regardless of how it may make us feel, regardless of how someone else may treat us. We're supposed to still serve in love. So it's after this whole demonstration, right, of him washing feet, that Jesus then turns to all of the disciples, including Judas, and he tells them, now, I'm telling y'all directly to love one another. And then he reminds them that by the way you love, people will then know that you are my disciples. So, knowing this, you all, that means when it comes to love, that the church should be setting the example for how to love people. And it shouldn't matter whether it's kinship, whether it's friendship, or even romantic relationships. But I gotta be honest, and I'm gonna speak for me. Maybe you got a different experience or story, but I grew up in church. And my experience with church is like primarily the only type of love that I seemed to witness at church was either some sort of friendship, right? Or it was kinship, right? The love of family or the love of friends. But I gotta be honest, I never really saw what I would consider to be healthy, happy, loving marriages or couples. And again, let me throw this disclaimer out there. I was a kid, right? I was a teenager. So no, I wasn't all up in people's business. But guess what? I was visually watching how people interacted with each other. What do I mean by that? Take church out of the equation. When you walk through the mall, when you walk through the neighborhood, when you're out and about, you see couples holding hands, right? You see sometimes you see them kind of flirting with each other. You see them smiling, making googly eyes at one another. I'm gonna be honest. I never saw that between husband and wives at church. Now, I'm not gonna say that they didn't, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna be. But what I more so saw was people who just coexisted together. I did not see the love. Now, and again, let me say, I seen everybody in church? No, I have not. But what I'm saying is the people who I was watching, the example that I did see, it didn't make me want to be like, oh, I desire that, right? It didn't make me desire to say, oh, that or understand that's how you do that. And I'm talking about from the top on down. But especially even with pastors, right? Yes, I saw that what I knew of pastors was they acknowledged their wives from the pulpit, first giving honor to God who's the head of my life. Thank God for the first lady. Stand up, baby. Let them see you. That was as far as I saw. I never saw a pastor or minister holding hands with his wife. I never saw him showing affection, right? And I'm not talking about he should be tonguing his wife down or anything like that. I'm saying appropriateness, right? When it comes to displays of affection, I saw how much he loved on the church, and I saw how much they ministered to the people and they hugged on the people. But I didn't necessarily see that in marriage or romantic type relationships. I'm just being honest. And so all of that led me to ask the question, why? Why is it that I seem to have only saw love in the form of friendships and relation and familial relationships, but not necessarily romantic relationships? I mean, I would think that the church would be the best place to witness and learn what a healthy romantic relationship looks like. But unfortunately, watch this. Statistically speaking, the divorce rate within the church pretty much matches the divorce rate in the rest of our country. Interesting, right? Maybe the reason for that is because for many of us, even within the church, maybe again, our perspective or our vision of love wasn't aligned with what God's vision of love is, right? Because God gave us the foundation of what love is. And if we're all following his standard of what love is, there's no reason that many of us, if not most of us, should not have seen healthier marriages modeled in front of us. Quiet as kept. Maybe if we saw the proper way to date, maybe if we saw the proper way to handle things in marriage and the proper way to show displays of affection, maybe many of us would have done better. I don't know. But here's the thing: now that we know that the church should be the example of how a strong, healthy relationship looks. This weekend, you all, I want to encourage each and every one of us. Remember, love takes work. Come on, I hear you, maybe. I want to encourage each and every one of us to do the necessary work that's required to align or realign our vision of love with what God's vision of love is. Because I believe you all that at the end of the day, if we do that, not only will we end up experiencing a better, stronger, healthier relationship, no matter what form it is, but we also just maybe to be able to inspire someone else to love better, to love stronger, to even work harder for love. Because according to the Bible, after all, how else will they know that we Christians if it's not by the way we love? I don't know. But listen, that's all I got for us on tonight. I hope this blessed somebody, gave us something to think about, something to pray about, something to reflect on. I hope that I will see you all next Friday Night Live as we'll be talking about pressure. How well do you handle pressure? Do you even know how to handle pressure? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. Listen, I got to get out of here. But before I go, remember, as always, I love you, and there's nothing you could do about it. Until next week, peace out.